August 1914, Europe is on fire. Millions of men are on the move, called to arms by their kings and emperors. They march with flowers in their rifles, cheered by crowds in the great capitals of Europe. Most believe it will be a short war. They could not imagine the horror that lay ahead. As the war began, each great power turned to its pre-existing military plans. Germany relied on the Schlieffen Plan, a sweeping offensive designed to defeat France quickly by striking through neutral Belgium, then turning against Russia. Time was crucial. Germany knew it could not fight both East and West at once. France meanwhile pursued 17th, an aggressive charge into Alsace and Lorraine to reclaim the provinces lost in 1871. Russia mobilized quickly, preparing to invade East Prussia. Austria and Hungary focused on punishing Serbia, while Britain sent a small but professional British expeditionary force rearmed to meet France. The stage was set for the first great clashes of the war. On August 4, 1914, Germany invaded Belgium. For the Belgians, the German demand for free passage was an outrage. An assault on their control. King Albert refused, declared, "Belgium is a nation, not a road." The German advance met stiff resistance in fortified cities like Liège. Belgian forts armed with heavy guns delayed the invaders longer than expected. Civilians too resisted, leading to harsh German reprisals. Entire villages were burned. Civilians were executed as alleged frontierers or irregular fighters. These atrocities, later known as the Rape of Belgium, shocked world opinion and helped rally support for the Allied cause. Despite Belgium's courage, Germany's massive army pushed onward. The violation of Belgian neutrality brought Britain into the war. Prime Minister Herbert Asquith declared that Britain could not stand aside while treaties were trampled. The war was spreading. Meanwhile, French troops launched Plan 17, a bold offensive into Alsace and Lorraine. Dressed in bright blue coats and red trousers, they marched with bayonets fixed and bands playing. But modern warfare gave no quarter to such outdated heroism. German machine guns and artillery mowed them down in staggering numbers. By the end of August, the French had suffered nearly 300,000 casualties in what became known as the Battle of the Frontiers. The French dream of a quick victory collapsed in blood. Into this chaos marched the British Expeditionary Force, small in number, just 80,000 men, but highly trained and professional. At Mons on August 23rd, they faced overwhelming German numbers. Using disciplined rifle fire, the British inflicted heavy losses, so rapid that Germans believed they were facing machine guns, but the pressure was too great. The Beef and French allies retreated south, pursued relentlessly by the German armies. It seemed Paris itself might soon fall. While battles raged in the west, the Eastern Front erupted in its own drama. Russia mobilized faster than Germany had expected, sending 2 armies into East Prussia. For a moment, it seemed Germany might be overwhelmed. But at Tannenberg in late August, German generals Hindenburg and Ludendorff encircled the Russian Second Army in a crushing defeat. Nearly 100,000 Russian soldiers were taken prisoner, and their commander, General Samsonov, committed suicide. The victory gave Germany breathing space in the east, but the Russians' sheer numbers ensured the Eastern Front would remain a grinding, bloody theater for years to come. Back in France, the German advance pressed ever closer to Paris. Refugees clogged the roads, fleeing the oncoming armies. In desperation, the French commander, General Joffre, rallied his men. He dismissed failing generals and called for a stand along the Marne River. In early September 1914, the Allies struck back in the First Battle of the Marne. In one of history's decisive moments, French and British forces halted the German advance just 30 miles from Paris. Famously, Parisian taxis were requisitioned to rush reinforcements to the front. Over 6 days of brutal fighting, the Allies pushed the Germans back. The Schlieffen Plan had failed. The dream of a quick German victory was over. With the German retreat, both sides sought to outflank each other, racing northward toward the English Channel. This maneuvering became known as the Race to the Sea. From September to November 1914, battles erupted at Arras-la-Bassée and Ypres. At the First Battle of Ypres, the British held their ground against repeated German assaults, suffering terrible losses but preventing the enemy from breaking through. By the end of the race, the front stretched, unbroken from the Swiss border to the North Sea. Neither side could outmaneuver the other. The war of movement was over. The soldiers dug in. What began as shallow rifle pits grew into complex systems of trenches, fortified with barbed wire, sandbags, and timber. Across a desolate strip of land known as No Man's Land, the enemy did the same. By the winter of 1914, Europe's armies were locked in a stalemate that would last for 4 long years. The trenches became the defining feature of the Western Front. Mud, rats, lice, and constant danger were the soldiers' companions. Artillery barrages churned the earth. Machine guns swept open ground. To advance meant to die. The optimism of August 1914 had vanished. A long, brutal war of attrition had begun.
Huge cannons pound the enemy lines. The latest weapon is gas. It exterminates the enemy like venom. Machine gun fire mows down every assault. Death now comes from the assembly line.